Athens. So now Bonk of Poland, 93.32, so he's down at the light end of the scale.
His last lift didn't look very dynamic. It looked slow and heavy. See if we can get some speed into this now. Oh, that's better. Needs to hold on to it though. Oh no. Well, this 170 seems to be causing a lot of people an awful
That's his second go at 170?
Yep. Yeah. So, 2 failures.
So Hernandez on 170.
Yes, well, he missed the 169. But it was technical rather than strength. So,
nonetheless, some of these B group guys are taking a few scalps. They're going to take a few scalps here. I know your eyes lit up when you saw the 391 and thinking, well, this is some decent total.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, that's
good.
Nicely.
Yeah, well corrected. Good to see that. Had a failure, went up, wasn't phased by it at all. Had his plan of 170, decided to stick to it, regardless of the failure on 169.
Still a couple of kilos short of his personal best in the clean and jerk. 220, something like that. He's in that sort of area. So that would give him 390 if he went that well, and that would put him right on the mark that he was hoping for. So Vakachuk now.
So let's hope he's sorted out his thumb tape. All new bars here, very, very sharp. No, he's obviously...
Is that the tape or is that in his mind? I think that's in his mind.
Well, what you can do in a world championship, because all the weights, all the bars and everything are brand new, they're very, very sharp. And if you're used to training on an older bar, when you come to this championship and you warm up on the new one, you can often tear calluses off. And it's very off-putting if you've just torn a lump of skin off and you've got to grip the bar. Not so bad on the clean and jerk. I mean, I don't think it'll be affected at all in the clean and jerk, but on the snatch it can affect you.
That leaves him on 167. He's got one. Is that right? 167.
167.
Yeah. So Dobrev under the cosh. 2 failures at 170. This the third and last attempt, and well, this would be not catastrophic, David, but it would be a huge surprise.
It already is. It already is.
Yeah.
he's 17 kilos down on his best, even if he gets it.
And
which he hasn't.
Oh dear, this has been a World Championships in which, David, to be honest, the disappointments have been a little too many. There are reasons. The conditions certainly have played a part, but at the moment, we were talking about it late last night, weren't we, about the wow category. If you think back to those women's competitions in Doha last year, I mean, there's some fantastic lifting there.
Yes, it's not happened so far. So this man also needing 170.
This is Bonk of Poland to keep his championship chance alive. Well, I hope Soziev is watching this. I'm sure he is. I haven't spotted him.
That's better.
But Bonk ultimately won the gold medal with 179 at the Europeans this year. So if you put it into context, he's way down, 9 kilos off. And this is, frankly, the discipline where he has to make a little progress. Now, it's been a while since we've seen this man, already been out with the once.
Well, they're getting quite long waits in between attempts here because everybody's lifting very much the same.
Used to lift for Russia. Is that 172 on the bar, I think?
172, yeah. Already succeeded on 167.
So 5 kilo increase. Competed this year in the Europeans. Finished in 12th place. And contributed 168 kilos in the snatch. So that's pretty good progress. Representing Georgia these days, as you can see, and 172 kilos. Well, it's the best so far in this particular group of athletes, but still 177 rules the roost from that B group. Still Szymon Kolecki of Poland to start his challenge. Also Mikołaj Patowski from Belarus. And Ilya Ilin has got a couple.
Well, this is Kolecki, and he's come down a kilo on what he had posted. He was posted at 174. He's got 173 on there. So come down for whatever reason. Perhaps he's seen a lot of failures and decided to get one in, because he has got the highest starter down in the clean and jerk. So I suppose it would make sense to come down.
Well, this is the young man who has been plagued with back problems. He's travelled across Europe trying to find physicians and surgeons to help him out. Well, there's no doubt, David, that all of them have realised that being a little conservative may well pay at the end of the day. The other factor, of course, is that the guys in the B group, David, when they're lifting earlier in the day, obviously they're striving to do their best, but they don't have quite the same pressure. There's not the same focus. The cameras aren't on them. Crowd isn't as big. You know, they're lifting in a completely different environment to these guys.
Oh, they are, and also you could look at that as an advantage or disadvantage. It's an advantage in as much as they don't have as much pressure on them, but it's a disadvantage because they don't have the knowledge of what the people in the A group are lifting, so they don't really know
how hard to push.
I mean, for example, they don't know whether 177 is going to be a record, or whether they need, or is going to win a gold medal, or whether they need to take 178. They don't have that knowledge. Whereas if you're lifting in the A final, it's all there. It's all there in front of you. So yeah, it depends on I suppose it depends on the temperament of the lifter. If you're somebody who doesn't work well under pressure, then I guess the B group is a good choice. But personally, I think I'd rather be in the A group.
I agree with you. It's just a pity, really, in a way, that we can't find some system of qualification so that essentially we arrived in a final with, say, the top 8 men, and they were definitely the 8 who could go for the medal, and therefore what you see is what you get, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's always very disappointing, not to say embarrassing, I think, for the governing body of the sport if somebody from a B group who you never see ends up getting a medal, and there's a real possibility of that happening this evening. This is Kolecki for a second time at 173.
That's better.
So Kolecki, being championed by David Morgan, now moves 3 kilos ahead of Ilya Ilin of Kazakhstan, being championed by myself. But of course, he's had one more attempt than my man from Kazakhstan. Two opposite ends of the scale. You've got Kolecki the comeback man, and Ilian, the rising star. And Navarro.
And Ilian, he's only 18 years of age.
Absolutely, and Navarro now, 1.6, was that 1.65 he had as the first one? No, it couldn't have been. 1.70, sure.
Navarro, no, he did 1.65, then 1.70. This is his last attempt now.
1.73. This will be a new personal best if he can do it. Sadly, he's left on 1.70, which equals his previous best, achieved in last year's World Championships in Qatar. Well, this is all unfolding pretty rapidly at the moment. Ilya Ilin, well, last year as an 85 kilo lifter, snatched 170 kilos. In the Junior Worlds this year, 176. He's actually got a PB of 180, but that's not a verified competition score. So Pototsky. And all of these Belarus lifters seem to profit in this first phase. Very effective in the snatch now, Pototsky. Well, shouldn't really say that, should I? I mean, that's very disappointing. I was talking about how Bartolomew Bąk of Poland was moved up to the gold medal position in the snatch last year. Sorry, this year in the European Championships, and Pototsky similarly moving up to the silver medal and actually achieved 177 kilos in the snatch. So Ilya Ilin taking a 5 kilo increase. I think this is pretty intelligent working, David. This is a progress by steps. Not going for a personal best.
His strength is in the clean and jerk. We know that. So if he's there or thereabouts in the snatch, he knows he's dangerous. He knows he's got a chance of winning. And he is there and thereabouts in the snatch.
Yeah, so he's now within 2 kilos of the lead, and the man who led at the halfway stage, Konstantinov, just to put the perspective on this, clean and jerk of 2.15, whereas Ilya Ilin, well, at the Worlds last year as an 85 kilo lifter, he did 2.16. As a 94 kilo lifter in the Junior Worlds, 2.25. And again, we know 2.25, 2.26 is his sort of territory. So, as you say, if he's within a couple of kilos, he can go past certainly the B group men. Now Bratin, 5 kilo increase as well. Ilya Ilin is lighter than Bratin by 0.6 of a kilo, so this would keep him behind the Kazakh lifter. And there are still 2 men, 177 Konstantinov, 176 Sozayev. And Sozayev and Konstantinov both clean and jerk 2.15. So that's the key figure to keep in mind.
That was a press out as well.
Yeah.
Really not looking impressive at all. In fact, nobody is really, with the exception of your man. I mean, he's looked the best so far, and the snatch is his weak point.
Well, I believe on backing athletes who are on a rising curve of form. But that said, David, I mean, I suppose there is an obvious question. given we're deep into the championships, just a day to go, and I suppose the obvious question is the effectiveness of the World Anti-Doping Agency's program. It seems to be biting. We can only be pleased about that because we want to see everybody competing on a level playing field. But you just wonder, and you sometimes worry as well, David, that, you know, maybe the lab is getting ahead of the athletes, but will some bright spark come up with something we've yet to hear about to put those who want to cheat back in the driving seat? Hopefully not, but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
So Bratin finishes on 170. And we're running out of lifts fast. Kolechki's got one, Ilya Ilin's got one, Kuzilov has got one, Pototsky's got one, and no one has got past the B group.
So actually at the moment the B group are
men we've not seen,
gold and silver,
or men that you've not seen anyway.
gold and silver.
Yeah.
No.
And not only that, David, you know, that's 3 failures, so no total. So no total for Dobrev, the Olympic champion. No total for Pototsky. We started with 10, we've got 8. This is quite a nightmare. It's also quite an embarrassment for the governing body of the sport to have this sort of performance. I mean, you look at this and you'd say, well, you know, to be fair to them, they've gone on the assessment of previous performances. That's why these guys are in the final, which is also, you know, my point about finding some method of qualification so that, you know, people are in the final on what they've done.
Well, the interesting thing as well is that Ilin now, because he's lifting in the A final, he knows
what he has to do.
He has to do 178. That's all he has to do. I mean, I know when he walked off, he went 5 to his coach, but if his coach is his coach checking the B group? If he is, so he's left on 173. If he is checking the B group, the next weight should be 178 to take the gold medal.
Yeah.
So 2 men from the B group are certainly in the gold and silver, or it could be silver and bronze, just depending now on what Ilya Ilin decides to take for his final attempt.
And am I not wrong that Kuzilov has got one?
Yes, he has. Yes.
Got one lift.
One lift left. Yes.
And here it is.
Yes, that's interesting, isn't it? Because he actually started at 167. So he was one of the lighter starters, but he's using his attempts very well.
Yeah, former Russian lifter, now representing Georgia.
He's actually going to 177 now. Is he heavier or lighter?
Let's have a look. 93.71. He's actually, I'm just looking at this, Konstantinov was 93.77, so he
this
is
would
lighter.
actually put him into the lead.
It would.
So his coach has looked at the B results and has made the intelligent choice.
Well, this is a way big personal best. This would be 7 kilos better than he's produced in competition before. Really hope he gets a... So that leaves him on 172. So this is absolutely extraordinary, because what you've got is a situation here at the moment where you've got Konstantinov on 177, Soziev on 176, then you've got Ilya Ilin on 175, and Kolechki doesn't even get a medal. So Ilya Ilin, 177, 178.
Well, it should be 177. Well, 177. Yeah. So this is actually, yes, of course, because he's lighter as well.
Yeah, 93.26. It could be 177.
So 177. So yep, they're watching. So this is actually for the gold medal by virtue of lighter body weight.
You're absolutely right. This is not a moment for heroism. It's just get the job done.
Well, I would have thought that he would have expected to be behind at this stage.
Oh, I tell you what, he is
behind at this stage. Bronze medal. So two guys from the B group are gold and silver.
Yeah. And sadly, we can't bring you pictures of their performances. But this is embarrassing. So I always find it embarrassing, David, you know, because it's a bit like watching the 100 meters and the two men with the fastest time were in the semis.
That's right. Yeah, it's disappointing, isn't it? I still think that the overall winner is going to come from this group, though.
Well, Ilya Ilin, if you're looking at Kalechki, because that's the man you've backed, and they're both better in the clean and jerk. Now, you've got a situation here where Kalechki, well, at his very best, he'd pick up 235 kilos, but he's not capable of that, surely. What's he posted?
220.
220.
I think he'd be struggling to do that. I think that's his...
Yeah, if you look at where he is now, 220 would give him 390. Well, you know, 220 would give him 393, and he posted an entry total of 395. Ilin had 175, so he needs 225. 225,
which he's done.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break.
The roller coaster ride for the world touring cars. Istanbul in the wet transformed the championship. The top 1 and 2, Andy Priaulx and James Thompson, failed to score in both races. And out of the pack stormed Gabriel Tarquini and Rickard Rydell to bust the title race wide open.
Well, 1 or 2 lifts. This is Kuzilov. He tried 177, didn't get that. 172 is where he ended up, but that's 5 kilos below the best. So this is a really interesting situation now that is going to unfold. Konstantinov, just 23 years of age, and has been pretty solid in the national championships. This was really an international debut for him today in the B group, so I suppose you could say that in a sense that's where the problem lies, because if you go into the national championships, Konstantinov, who's taken the gold medal with 177 kilos, actually snatched 180 kilos with a 218 clean and jerk to give himself 398 in the national championships in Nevi Nominsk, and that was in July. The problem with that is that it's not an official competition, and so consequently, actually he weighed in at 94 kilos on that occasion, which is absolutely on the mark here, but it can't be counted, and so therefore they couldn't really take that result to actually analyze who should and shouldn't be in the A group. Well, here's the best of the lot.
Well, he's the best of the A group. Remember, this is just the snatch that took the bronze medal, isn't it?
Yes, chance of getting the gold medal, but couldn't make it. But it leaves him on 175. So we'll take another little break, and there you can see, well, the result is Konstantinov, Soziev take the gold and the silver, with Ilya Ilin taking the bronze medal. Konstantinov for Russia, and Soziev taking the silver. And Ilin the bronze. Back after this. Well, the clean and jerk still just a few minutes away. Tomorrow, just to remind you, on Eurosport International, we have both the 105 and 105 super heavyweights, Hossein Rezazadeh. But on the evidence of what we've seen here, David, I don't think we'll see Rezazadeh going for a world record.
No, it doesn't seem to be a championship of records.
But good fights that's the priority, and hopefully we'll have a good fight in the second half.
International football is back as 50 nations embark on the big quest to qualify for Euro 2008. They have 13 months to make it happen. What are their chances? The first batch of matches will provide plenty of clues. The qualifiers for Euro 2008, Saturday on Eurosport and Sunday.
Welcome back to Santo Domingo, almost ready to go now with the clean and jerk, and fingers crossed that these men can really produce the goods to give us a bit of a grandstand finish here. And the important factor to keep in mind now is that the leader in the clubhouse, so to speak, is Roman Konstantinov, who has a total of 392 kilos ahead of his Russian teammate Muhammad Sozayev, who's on 391. So opening up here,
Nikolai coming in on a kilo less than he'd posted, had 196 down. Well, that was a good lift, but if you remember in the snatch phase, a bit of a disaster. 175, failed 3 times, so can't make a total. And actually, when you actually look at it, I'm really not sure why he's even bothering, because if he had a very strong clean and jerk, you could, with the medals for the snatch, jerk and the total, you could understand him going on. But as it is, why bother? I mean, he's just adding insult to injury, really.
Well, other than the fact that going on the stage and at least getting one in, if you know what I mean. But you're right, Potosky, that was of Belarus. He was looking for a total of 391, and as David's explained, it's not going to happen. And there was some other, there's one other man we should perhaps mention, David, Konstantin Piliev on 385. That was a decent total as well of the Ukraine. Got 214 in the clean and jerk to go with 171.
Fun and games again now. We're getting confused about who should be on the platform. This shouldn't be happening.
No, it shouldn't. And we always like to attract a bit of attention for the sports that we enjoy, and it seems that our good friend Ali Ross from The Sun has been looking in. The only concern is, Ali, I gather you were concerned about the Saudi Arabians and their women unstable with 140 kilo snatches. Now, I'm not too sure about that, David, but I haven't seen any women snatching 140 kilos. Have you?
Well, there's two points about that. A, we haven't seen any women snatching 140 kilos, and B, the Israeli team aren't in this. Saudi Arabia, team aren't even competing. So I'm not sure where he saw that. Yeah. Perhaps that was made up.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it up.
No, he couldn't have made it up. He must be watching a different world. He must be watching a different World Championships.
It's The Sun, isn't it? I mean,
it must be true.
It must be true. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Ali. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
So the bar's on 196. They've decided that it is him. So he's marched up onto the platform, marched off the platform, and marched back up again. So, remember, took him 3 attempts to snatch 170, which at least has managed to give him a total.
Yeah, 366, pretty modest at the moment. And remember, the men they're chasing have got 392, 391, 385. So quite a bit of work to be done on this second half of the competition. And it must be a very
392. I must have missed that. I thought 391 was the...
No, 392.
392.
Konstantinov, because they both the boys did 215 on the clean and jerk. So and Sozayev did 176, so he's just a kilo behind. And then, as I said, Piliev of the Ukraine, 385. So, you know, pretty good. And interestingly enough, Martinez, who's another familiar face from Spain, he totaled up 370. Just looking at one or two other Euros, Jürgen Spiess of Germany, 365. And Nikolaos Kotidis, remember him?
Oh.
Promising junior, and 383. So, you know, some decent performances in the B group, a lot more consistency there. And it will be fascinating when we get to the end of this just to see, you know, how many B group men, and I'm sure, David, they're going to give us a result on that television screen which won't include any of the B group men. Well, it did actually, to be fair. They did include them on the last one, but will they put them all in? So he's on his own personal plan here, Patotsky.
But he's not having a good day.
The only other reason I was thinking that he might go on here, David, is to go for a personal best. He's got a PB of 206, and if he'd got that, maybe he could have had a shot at 207 and gone for a PB. But as you say, today he's gone south. I mean, I'm not gleeful because you know what it's like to have a really bad day, and particularly at a championship when you've been building up all through the months, to deliver your best at this moment. And the only thing that is noteworthy about this competition, and quite a few at these championships, is the modest figures that are being delivered. You look at this, 188 kilos, the world record in the snatch, which has stood since 99. Clean and jerk still belongs to Kolechki, set in Sofia, 2000, 232 kilos. Not going to get near there today. And the standard, 417, set in 1998 when these weight categories were established, yet to be achieved. So Ilya Ilin at 18, still in the junior ranks. He'd have to go to 412 to break the junior world total record, and he'd have to go to 232 to break Kolechki's junior and senior world record. But I don't think that's on any of their minds. It's just about winning the competition. And Ilin and Kolechki, those are really, realistically, the only two who could do anything about the men in the B group. So Patotsky, 200 kilos, third attempt. No. That's what you call a really rotten day. 1 out of 6. And it's not going to be a very enjoyable plane journey all the way back to Minsk.
Yeah, really not happening for him today.
It's one thing when you're doing the Europeans, if you've had a bad day, you get home pretty quickly, David. But Santo Domingo, he'll be taking 3 plane journeys to get home. Not pleasant there. All you can do is sit in the aircraft seat, and if you can't go to sleep, you just become seriously depressed. So Bartolome Bonk, 2015 kilo increase, take him up to 371. And again, he should really be able to do this. He clean and jerk 208 in the Europeans.
That's better. Yeah, got that together.
Yeah, he's getting it together now, but it's unfortunately all a little bit too late. But I suppose you could say beginning to put some respectability into the performance. But 387 in the Europeans, 371 at this particular moment. It's a long way back. Breton opening up on 202. This for 372 if he makes it. And again, this is well within his compass. Yeah, that's fine. Good clean, no fuss and bother. Couldn't finish it off though. And I think there was a suspicion of a press out anyway.
Yes, only got one snatch.
It's going to be quite interesting, I think, David. You know, we're talking about, you know, the aggressiveness of the World Anti-Doping Agency to really stamp down, not just on weightlifting, but on all sports. Because, you know, weightlifting is not an isolated offender by any means. But quite interesting, in a couple of years, 2008, the European Championships are going to be in Italy. And that'll be the last qualifier for the Europeans. And, of course, in Italy, as you may remember from the cycling, if you are found to be guilty there, it's subject to criminal prosecution. That might concentrate a few minds.
The whole sort of drug thing, it's all skewed though, isn't it? Our thinking's all skewed. I mean, I don't know what kids growing up think, but you know, in one breath they're moaning about drug abuse, and you know, in the next breath you've got people drinking excessive amounts of alcohol and smoking excessive amounts of cigarettes. I mean, I was in the supermarket the other day and I bought a packet of aspirins and a packet of ibuprofen, and they said you can have one or the other, you can't have both. Yet I could have had 500 cigarettes, 20 bottles of vodka. I mean, it's all, the thinking is skewed, isn't it?
Was it a very bad? Was it a very bad headache?
It's a very bad headache. Yeah.
Or did you just have a horrible post bag that morning?
No, but I mean, you know, on a serious note, though, you're not giving out. The messages are mixed, aren't they? They're not. There's no consistency with it.
Well, that was a bit of a struggle, but he's there. 202. Second time of asking. 372 total.
Yes, I don't think we've got the right men in this group now, have we? I think there's at least 3 men from the B group that should be lifting here, and at least 3 men from this group that should have been in the B group. In fact, there's 10 men in this class. There probably should have actually been 8.
I think, though, that, you know, I hate to bang on about it, but, you know, conditions are having an effect. And I just wonder whether, you know, a lot of sports I know, David, you know, team managers take charge, they go out the year before, they make a real assessment of the hall, the facilities, the climate and everything else. This sport doesn't tend to do that very much. It just tends to, right, the championships are in Santo Domingo, we'll turn up on the appropriate date. And I just wonder whether a lot of people have been caught out here by the fact that they haven't really acclimatized. They've got on a plane in the normal way, they've arrived, and boom, suddenly they're into this, you know, very different, you know.
Well, some of the stuff is so basic. You know, what is the temperature like? Do you have air conditioning?
Yeah,
very basic. I mean, that's a simple question. It's a telephone conversation. Things like the size of the hall, the position of the spectators to the lifters, the lighting. I mean, these are all very, very basic things, and they're not even a trip. That's a telephone conversation.
Yeah, but even, you know, knowing down to the detail of where's the hotel, how long is the bus journey from the hotel to get into the venue, where's the training hall?
The training hall in comparison to the venue.
Yeah. Well, Kozilov, who finished on 172 on the snatch, now 205, first attempt at the clean and jerk, and that's gone west, so to speak, at the moment, and we're struggling really for somebody to come in here and take a grip. So Navarro. weighed in at 93.20. So 205. This for 375. That's still 17 kilos short of the man who currently leads the competition. And that wasn't easy. But strong enough overhead, thank goodness. 375 for Jose Navarro. And that equals the total that he produced in Poland over the last Easter holidays. So the men here in this A medal final, he's the leader, but not the leader of the overall competition. So now Albert Kuzilov back out to try again at 205. Well, one more failure, David, and he doesn't get a total. He was lifting for Russia.
Actually, to be fair, with all the people that are doing very, very badly, it's got to be to do with the conditions here as well. This humid hall is definitely affecting performances.
I was going to say he was competing for Russia until last season, so Georgia, his newly adopted country, and now bonk. Third attempt, 5 kilos.
Got 4 kilos. I did 201, so 205. So this for 3 clean and jerks and a total of 375. Well, looks good to me.
Yeah, that's fine. 375. But there are 4 men who produced a better total than he did earlier on. And I think maybe, David, the other factor is that the heat of the afternoon, which is what we're experiencing now, as opposed to the slightly cooler morning in which the B group lifted. So again, there's another factor.
But of course, if you'd chosen an air-conditioned hall, that wouldn't be a factor at all.
But lots of sports, David, you know, all sorts of sports have different situations. You know, some from time to time will compete at altitude, some will have hotter climates. You know, championships, you take the sport around the world.
Sorry, but this is weightlifting. This is inside. The environment is controlled and can be controlled very, very easily. So it doesn't need to be a factor. The fact is that the organisation. That was good.
Yeah, good recovery. Saves the day. So 205, 172. So that's 377. Mind you, could have held it outside. I've often thought that this sport would attract a bigger crowd, to be honest, if you took it to the people by the beach and everything else. And if you've got the climate for it, you could still have the outdoor stage and a marquee erected behind. And
many years ago, in fact, probably 20 years ago, actually, in fact, even more than 20 years ago, I actually competed in a championship in Spain, and it was held in the town centre, where they had a sort of amphitheatre type, you know, with a sort of ring in the middle and the steps going up all around, and we had a competition in there, and it was packed. The atmosphere was fantastic.
Yeah, I often think, you know, taking it to this sort of rather clinical sports hall environment. I mean, we did the team competition in Reykjavik in the supermarket Smaralind last May, and again, absolutely packed, great environment, and a lot of people who don't normally see weightlifting, you know, found it very enjoyable. Nobody left. You know, it was 2 hours and 20 minutes, nobody left.
But to be fair, David, you locked all the doors, didn't you?
No, actually, we had the support of TGI Fridays and Burger King, so we were feeding them at the same time. No, it was a good little innovative competition. I really liked it. Nations competition worked well, went down.
Whose idea was that then, being in a sort of good innovative competition?
Well, there were 2 or 3 of us who put our heads together. A lot of people don't know the lifters, and that's perfectly understandable. But of course, they know the countries, and that gives them something immediately to, support and attach onto. And everybody, the 5 countries, the Nordic countries involved, were yo-yoing up and down in the order, and so that was really unpredictable until the last round of lifts. Now Navarro getting a lot of support in the hall here.
And responding to it well.
Yeah, that's better.
So 2:08 for him. Simon 3:78.
So quite a lot of the lifters just at the last moment beginning to, as it were, almost tune in to the platform and the conditions, and we're starting to see 1 or 2 better performances, but unfortunately the damage has been done. They are so far behind from the first half. But this competition is not over. We've still got to find a champion, and here comes the experienced Vadim Vakachuk. 2:08 for his second attempt. And he opened up on
2:08, failed it. So he's only actually made 1 lift out of 4 so far.
No, never caught that on his shoulders. Never caught it.
1 lift out of 5, and like so many people in this competition, he's put in that awful position of having to get the next lift to make a total.
So we've got Navarro has finished on 3:78. We've got Bonk, who's finished on 3:75, and Kuzilov on 3:77. And not one of those 3 will figure in the medals, that's for sure. So Bratan now going to 2:08. Now he's on 3:72 at the moment, so let's take him to 3:78. Weighed in at 93.86, so he wouldn't actually get ahead of Navarro even if he lifts this. Which he does, thank goodness.
Well, I'm not sure.
You don't think so?
No, I don't know. Depends. I mean, the refereeing is inconsistent.
Well, the jury could overrule here. One of the problems we've had is when they do overrule. Oh, right. Okay, take us through it, David.
Well, if you look at the right arm, just look at the right arm, you could argue that it was a, well...
Sadly.
Yeah. I was going to say you could argue it's a press out, but for some reason we're looking at the legs, which means nothing.
So we're going to give him 3:78 at the moment. Now Vakachuk.
If he doesn't get this, he doesn't make a total.
I thought he got 1:67.
Yeah, but he hasn't done a clean and jerk yet.
Oh no, I see what you mean. Yes, of course.
And I'm not sure he's going to get one now. Looks very heavy. Well,
so another one bites the dust.
Bites the dust. No total.
So that's Vakachuk, and also Patotsky, and of course Dobrev, who we haven't seen. Dobrev, I wonder whether Dobrev's actually going to bother.
I don't think he is. I don't think we're going to see him. I think he wandered off that platform. There was no fight in him. Nothing. He just looked depressed and uninterested, really.
So the 2 men we chose, David, if we've done nothing else, at least we've chosen the 2 men who've vaguely produced some competitive lifts here, which is Kalechki and Ilya Ilin. Ilya Ilin carrying my 5er well. We could be back to even Stephen with the last day to go, you know.
Build it up.
Dave versus David. So Hernandez on 2:10. Now this would take him straight to 380. And he's got a possible 388 as a PB. 388 though, David, I'm afraid. If everybody else copped out and failed, then that would leave him with a bronze medal.
No, this is going to put him on 380.
No, I'm saying if he got 388, which was his personal best.
Right. Yeah.
This is 380. You're absolutely right. Good and strong. Yeah.
Well, it's a good lift.
Yeah.
The most impressive clean and jerk we've seen so far.
Thank goodness. You were making the point that you were really impressed with the leg strength of all the Cubans. In the genes?
I think it's a genetic.
Yeah.
Something's a genetic. I mean, I've seen them in the gym doing squats, and I've never seen a Cuban that can't do squats with immense weights. I've never seen a Cuban struggle to stand up with a clean. They just seem to have unbelievable power in the legs. So maybe it's maybe it is a race thing. Maybe it's a genetic thing. Yeah, maybe it's a race thing. Because it seems to be across the board.
Navarro sitting on 378 at the moment. Got one more lift to try and make. He's got 2 out of 2 in the clean and jerk, and he only missed 1 in the snatch phase, so it's not a bad little series, although it's not a real competitive series in terms of going for the medals, but it's not too bad. And one actually has to look at Santiago Martinez, his teammate, who lifted in the B group and totaled up 370. So they made the right judgment there, the Spanish. They've got the right man in the right group.
Well, this for 381, this will give him. But it certainly won't be giving him a medal, because as we know, 3 men in the B group did more than that.
This is a personal best. 211's a personal best for him. So fingers crossed he can do this.
So in contrast, the leg strength of the Spanish
not sufficient on this occasion.
No.
Well, of course he is lifting considerably more than double body weight, which is worth emphasizing. These are big weights. But 211, world record 232. Sofia, European Championships, Bulgaria, 2000. Just trying to, we were there, David. I'm just trying to see if I can conjure a picture.
Look at what's happening. Kolechki was in at 220. And he's brought it right down to 212, I believe.
Well,
look at the bar.
Well, that would give him 385.
214. So
14, okay.
So it's come down 6 kilos.
So this would be, let me work this out, 387 if he does it. Now, the significance of that is that there are 3 men on 392, 391 and 385. That would have put him in, for the moment, into the bronze medal position.
I think my 5 is on the way out.
You're not going to make me the similar offer to last night that I was kind enough to offer you?
What at this stage? No. You offered it to me at the beginning of the competition, David.
Yeah.
We have to be fair about these things.
Yeah.
But it was, it was worth a try. I mean, you had to ask. But he's in all sorts of trouble here. 6 kilos less. The warm-up obviously didn't go well. Struggled out of the clean, and then just didn't get the hips through on the jerk. I mean, we can't see it because we've got a close-up, but left the hips behind the bar, didn't get underneath it, and you can't support the weight unless you're underneath it.
It is extraordinary, though, David. If you think back to Sydney, we were talking about it last night. Sydney 2000. Kolechki finishes the snatch phase on 182.5 kilos. This is Sydney 2000 Olympics. Kakashvilis has got 185 and has got obviously a 2.5 kilo advantage and is the lighter of the 2 men. We go into the clean and jerk. Kakashvilis does 220. Kolechki does 2:22.5. And at that point, Kolechki has regained the 2.5 kilos that he was down. Suddenly Kakashvilis decides that he's injured, can't go on. Kolechki puts on 2:27.
No, he didn't actually. He didn't let them know he was injured.
No.
He just kept pushing the bar up.
Yeah.
So Kolechki kept putting the bar up. There was no way he was coming out for another attempt. It was purely tactics.
Yeah, and 2:27.5 went on the bar for the second attempt to Kolechki.
And he didn't need it.
And he didn't get it. And he could have had a third attempt, but he never took it. And they both ended up on 4:05, and bodyweight decided the medal. And I wonder when he must have thought about it long and hard now, those winter evenings, about how that was his chance to become an Olympic champion, and it wasn't managed, it wasn't taken.
I'll tell you what, this man,
the Cuban,
is more dangerous than we thought.
380, but he's got to get, if he's got 380, you're saying
he needs to go to 216. I think if he can get 216, he could be in with a chance of a medal.
A medal, but not necessarily the gold medal.
Oh, definitely not the gold medal, but a medal. Well, I'm wondering if he's actually taken this, or if he's got to wait for Kolechki to go out again on 2:14.
Yeah, it's interesting. Also, Ilya Ilin was due to join in around this time at about 2:15 as well. I hope he's not going to make the mistake of overestimating, and a little rush and run now, because the time's running out now for the Cuban. 8 seconds on the clock. 5, 4, 3. Whoa.
No. Just didn't have time to. No, he was right. That is 2:16. That's exactly the way he needs to go into the bronze medal position. So Kolechki obviously deciding to not go back out on the 2:14, has increased the weight.
And that's what probably confused the issue, because everybody thought that he probably would go out on 2:14, decided that he wouldn't.
Yeah, so essentially timed the Cuban out, really.
Yeah. The Cubans weren't alert to, well, we were talking about tactics just a few minutes ago in Sydney, and Kolechki, as we've said, no stranger, but he was the victim of the tactics on that occasion. So Dobrev hasn't appeared. Dobrev, who was posted at 2:05, so I think we can safely say, although we've had no message from the back room, that Dobrev is not going to take any part in this. So Dobrev and also Vakachuk and Patotsky, that's 3 who've failed to total. So what's the tactic now, David? I mean, this is interesting. He's 2:16.
Well, I think he's going to take the 2:16 again, which will put him into the third.
That'll be 2:86. Well, yeah, but that's only third place at this moment.
At this moment, yeah.
Because the fact is that Ilya Ilin comes out and he doesn't get a medal.
But you can only do what you can do.
Well, 2:16 is right on his personal best.
Well, the other thing is, though, that the biggest lift in the B group on the clean and jerk, though, was actually 2:15. So this would put him in the lead on the clean and jerk. And really, there's only then 2 people that could actually go ahead of him. So he'd be guaranteed a medal on the clean and jerk.
Yeah, I was just thinking, actually, he's done better than 2:16. This man. He did 2:20 last year in Qatar, but... So I'll take back my PB note of a moment ago. But as you say, this for the lead in the clean and jerk.
Yes, and good lift.
Yeah. So 386 is his total. Currently, he's in the overall bronze medal position, behind Roman Konstantinov of Russia, behind Mukhama Sozayev of Russia, who are still leading by 392 and 391, but Piliev of the Ukraine, who had 385, has now been surpassed by a kilo by this man who leads the clean and jerk, is in the gold medal position in the clean and jerk. And then there are two men, Konstantinov on 215 and Soziev on 215, and Soziev is the lighter of the two, so he's currently in clean and jerk silver. But this could change everything. Well, not everything, but it could start to change a lot.
Well, this is the lead, isn't it, on the clean and jerk and the total by virtue of lighter body weight. Oh, it's very, very powerful on the clean and jerk. 18 years of age, look at that. Unbelievable.
392?
Yeah. And it was easy. I mean, that was comfortable.
392. He weighed in at 93 kilos 26 and 93 kilos 77 Konstantinov. So he look at
the strength of this.
So he takes the championship and has 2 lifts left. The junior world champion of this year at 94 kilos, last year's world senior champion at 85 kilos. Kazakhstan have got themselves a world title thanks to this man, and frankly, he doesn't have to do anything else. Mr. Morgan does. He has to put the fiver back in the jar.
Even Stevens.
I mean, Kalechki's still got 2 lifts, but it doesn't look as if it will. Is it going to happen? He's still entitled to go for this, but
well, it's not over till it's over.
No.
I mean, Kalechki's got to do what? He's 2 kilos and body weight behind, so he's got to do 3 kilos more. So if he actually did 220, he would actually go into the lead, wouldn't he?
Yeah. But we've called this guy, or I've called this guy the world champion, because I don't think Kalechki's going to do that. I think he might have a go at it. 217. There's no point in going for 217. He's got to go straight for 2.
Well, there is, because it will give him a clean and jerk. Clean and jerk.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, I think he's not. I don't think he is. I think he's 219. I'm trying to think what the logic behind this is. I guess this is a silver medal overall, and the gold on the clean and jerk.
Yeah. Because he is heavier than Ilin.
Yeah, so this would give him this would put him into the silver medal position overall, and the gold medal in the clean and jerk.
The European champion promoted to the gold medal by virtue of the disqualification of Pashayev of Azerbaijan. No.
It's just the strength's just not there, is it?
No. 3 times European champion, world silver medalist in 99, Olympic silver medalist. It's never quite happened for him. So at the moment, he hasn't got a total.
Well, at the moment, he hasn't got a medal. Even the 173 snatch isn't enough for a medal. So at the moment, he's got nothing. Just all he does have is 1 attempt left. And that 1 attempt could give him the silver overall.
So Ilya Ilin on 392, by virtue of lighter body weight, leading ahead of Roman Konstantinov of Russia, who's also got 392. And then Muhammad Sozayev 391. That's the gold, silver and bronze overall positions at the moment. In the clean and jerk, it's Ilya Ilin on 217, and then it's Sozayev on 215 by virtue of his lighter body weight, ahead of Konstantinov, his Russian teammate. So a minute to go for. Got to be 219 again. It can't really be anything else, can it?
219. So this for a silver medal on the overall. I'm guessing a silver medal on the total, because I'm sure that Ilin will do more. I mean, that 217 was very comfortable. Now, what is the world record? The world record is 232. I wonder if Ilin's capable of that.
So this is for what, 373?
No,
sorry, what am I talking about?
392.
392, yeah.
Ah, well, it's halfway. Oh, well done. Well done. You got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Came from absolutely nowhere.
Well, it came from very, very deep down.
So guaranteed the silver overall.
And he's in the gold medal position in...
The clean and jerk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So 392. Kolechki weighed in at 93.61. Konstantinov 93.77. So he drops down to the bronze medal now. And the man who's lost his overall medal is Muhammad Sazayev of Russia. But of course, in the snatch division, he's got a medal because he had 176 kilos. So he's going to appear on the podium. That's a huge effort.
Well, that was an all or nothing if ever I've seen one.
First Polish medal.
So what's going to happen? Are we going to see a world record attempt, or are we just going to see him take 220 to take the clean and jerk gold? And
well, I think
gold?
For me that would be the sensible thing to do. But
where are we?
223.
Now what's the junior? What's the junior?
Well, the junior...
He's done 225, hasn't he?
So 223 would give him a total of what? 8,9,398. That's still 14 kilos short of the junior world total record. The clean and jerk record is still 232 because Kolechki said it when he was a junior. So 398, just trying to look at Ilin. He did 401 in the junior worlds. Well, he did 225. He did 176, 225 for 401.
So I'm just wondering what the bar's going up to now. Well, the 25s are going on, so more than, well, at least 225.
So just buying a little time.
So we're either going to be just a shade under or just a shade in excess of £500. It looks as if he's going for 225. So this will be the 400 that he posted.
Yeah.
No, he's going for more. 228.
So
this will be a personal record.
Well, I'm just having a look at this because I think this is the junior world.
No, he's
junior.
not. No, he's not. He's going for 233.
Oh my God. 233 is going for the clean and jerk world record. Now, if you add that to the 175, that would be that would be 408. So this is the clean and jerk world record, junior and so no.
I think he'll get it. I think he'll do it next time. He's going to take. He wants it. Big jump. I think he really wants it. He's got 2 minutes.
And he's going to be trying to take the junior and senior world record away from Szymon Kolechki, the man from Poland who just moved himself into overall silver medal. So this was, what, 233?
233.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 4 kilos short of Kolechki's junior world total. I think this is when you consider that this guy's got a personal best, and this is not in an IWF recognized competition of 226, so 7 kilos up on this. This is a huge ask of himself.
Well, remember though, he's 18 and improving.
233 kilos, and he weighed in today at 93 kilos 26.
Yes, so about 14.5 stone, attempting to lift over £500. Well, this would be a great finish to this competition, actually. And I think it would be the only world record from the men's.
Well, no, we've had a world record in the clean and jerk the other night, but here we go. No, not to be. Another day, but he is the champion. Last year, he took the 85 kilo title, now moves up, takes the junior world title this season at 94 kilos, and unifies by taking the senior 94 kilo title at 392 kilos, and by virtue of lighter body weight takes the championship ahead of Roman Konstantinov of Russia, ahead of, it's very tight, Simon Kolecki of Poland, with Roman Konstantinov also on 392 in the overall bronze medal position.
What that does mean, though, is that Kolecki actually did get the gold medal in the clean and jerk.
It did, 219, because Ilin only lifted 217.
So what was the world record? Am I going mad? There was a world record in the men's division?
Yes, there was.
Senior world record?
Yeah. Well, just the medal ceremonies to come, but back tomorrow with the two final men's competitions, the 105 kilos, and of course Hossein Razazadeh, in weightlifting terms, the world's strongest man, on the stage to see what he can produce here in Santo Domingo. Time for David Morgan and myself to take our leave, as those of you who will have been following our little duel here, we are even Steven. The cookie jar is empty. We start again tomorrow.